Hello once again, everybody. It is the Icon Jonny K, and this is WrestleScope Weekly for April 3rd, 2022. Thank you very much for tuning in today in the midst of WrestleMania weekend. And boy, what an incredible couple of days of wrestling it has been. I don't know about you. I'm still trying to recover. I cannot imagine the people that are actually in Dallas this weekend, how they are surviving right now. But we've got a lot to talk about this week on the show. As always, please like this video or the audio podcast, because this is the audio podcast as well. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well, wherever you may be watching or listening to this. Would greatly appreciate your help in helping grow this channel. It has been a lot of fun coming back over the last 5 weeks now. It's been 5 weeks since I returned to doing lives here after a short hiatus, and I'm thankful to be back and really enjoying all the interaction. Thank you to everybody tuning in, whether you are watching on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, TikTok, or listening wherever you are hearing the audio podcasts. So thank you very much for tuning in, and always, please don't forget to also go to our link tree, and I'm going to leave that scrolling on the bottom here. Wherever you may be watching or listening to this, you can check out our bio, see the link tree, and see all of our social media. I'm going to be adding some things in the next couple of weeks here too, as always. And always the first one in, Lucas, thank you for checking in, my friend. Good to see you here. And yeah, Roman Reigns' 580th day as champion, and that's going to continue after tonight. That's my prediction. And where can we listen to live audio at? Easiest thing to do is go to Buzzsprout. I actually have, I am connected on, let's see, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pandora. I've lost track of everywhere that we are, to be quite honest. The podcast, yeah, if you go to the link in my bio, the link tree, the second one down says podcast, and you can click on that, the WrestleScope Buzzsprout, and you can hear the weekly audio wherever there may be. And I might be adding some more in the future, in the near future. May talk about that a little bit at the end of the broadcast today. This is going to be just 45 minutes today, as I've got a busy afternoon, a lot to get to. So let's jump right into it. Obviously, WrestleMania Night 1 was last night. We saw the triumphant return of Cody Rhodes to WWE. We saw Bianca Belair for the second WrestleMania in a row to walk out as a women's champion. Last year it was SmackDown. This year it's Raw. We saw an unfortunate injury for Rick Boogs in the opening match, the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Sorry, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Rick Boogs, it was confirmed, tore his quad and patella, will have to have surgery. No update on the severity of it. Speculating just from quad injuries from the past, probably looking at bare minimum 6 to 9 months for him. It's very unfortunate, but he's a strong guy. I'm sure he will be back better than ever. But unfortunately, we don't know what is this going to end up meaning for Shinsuke Nakamura now, because they were making a great tag team, and it's a shame to see it happen. Oh, and look who's back in the Twitter or in the TikTok again. Yeah, figures. Okay. Also last night, we saw Miz and Logan Paul defeat the Mysterios, and then Miz turn on Logan Paul, which was that possibly could have been the biggest shock last night. That, or the fact that Charlotte Flair ended up retaining her championship under very kind of questionable means. Obviously, that feud is going to continue, which pains me to say that we're going to have to listen to 4 more weeks of these same god-awful promos. It's going to be absolutely terrible. Let's see, what else did we miss on? Drew McIntyre became the very first person to kick out of the End of Days, ending Happy Corbin's winning streak. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland were removed from WrestleMania Night 1 because a couple of matches went too long. Hey, WWE, maybe you shouldn't play over an hour of video packages on a 4-hour pay-per-view. Maybe then you'd have time for that tag team match. As of right now, when I'm doing this broadcast, there has been no indication on if that match is going to happen on night 2 or if it is scrapped in general. If anything breaks here during the broadcast, I will let you know. Overall, I thought it was an okay first night of WrestleMania. Obviously, we can't forget to talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin, his first match in 19 years. It actually was a match and not just as one wrestling podcaster calls it, it was a podcast. No, it was an in-ring segment. It wasn't a podcast. I was very shocked. The match actually went longer, a lot longer than I thought it would. And Stone Cold actually took a bump on the floor. He took a suplex on the concrete floor. And that was, I don't think there was a better way you could have ended night 1 in Dallas than Stone Cold Steve Austin having his hand raised after a match where he actually looked pretty good. And you could tell Kevin Owens was having the time of his life last night. And it was great to see. And I want to address a comment that I made on Twitter last night that it was great to see Kevin Owens get a main event spot at WrestleMania. It just would have been nice if it would have been for a championship. I'm not saying I meant it this year. I mean, over the course of time that Kevin Owens has been in WWE, this is the first time he's gotten a main event. And yes, it was against Stone Cold Steve Austin in Dallas, Texas. But at some point in time, it would have been great to see Kevin Owens get a world championship opportunity in a main event at WrestleMania over the course of the years. Not this year. Okay? People misunderstanding words again on Twitter. But I was happy for him. He didn't get the win, but he got his moment. Shadow Wolf, yeah, Kevin Owens should have went for the U.S. title. The U.S. title was nowhere to be found. The U.S. and the Intercontinental titles were nowhere to be found on WrestleMania. And I have griped and complained about that already. Overall, again, it was a good show. It wasn't a great WrestleMania night 1. I said this last night in my post show that I could care less about Rousey versus Flair. I really could. Seth and Cody was fantastic. Bianca and Becky was exactly what I expected it to be. I've heard a lot of people say it was match of the year. I don't know about that. That might be a stretch. I'd have to look back and see what we've had in the first 3 months of the year. It's up there. It's a candidate for sure. It definitely is. But was it the best match of the year in the United States? I don't know. You really can't rate Usos versus Nakamura and Boogs because the match had to get changed on the fly because of an unfortunate injury. Mysterios versus Miz Paul was actually better than I thought it was going to be. And I'll give props to Logan Paul. He obviously put in the work and he looked pretty good. McIntyre versus Corbin was a better match than I thought it was going to be. Baron Corbin showing again how good of a wrestler he actually is. That's what people tend to forget about. They look at his gimmicks and they forget this guy is actually a pretty doggone good professional wrestler. But looking at this, I mean, was this WrestleMania caliber? Outside of Seth and Cody, Bianca and Becky, and the KO Stone Cold segment, I don't know if anything else was WrestleMania quality. Okay. They did a good job. They did. We'll see how they do tonight. I mean, there is a lot on the line tonight. You've got another match that could be match of the year candidate, AJ Styles versus Edge. You got Brock versus Roman. Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn, which I think is going to be the most fun match. It's going to be the most fun match of the weekend. The triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Has anybody found Alpha Academy yet? McAfee versus Theory, I think, is going to be an entertaining match as well. The Women's Tag Team Championship match, I don't, it's going to be a decent 15 minutes, but we'll see. And then Lashley and Omos, just a throwaway match, completely a throwaway match. Looking at things on paper, there's going to be certain things that people are going to remember from WrestleMania 38. Obviously, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bianca Belair, whoever wins the Brock Roman Reigns match tonight, probably AJ and Edge, maybe some stuff from Knoxville and Zayn, but I don't know. We shall see. We take a look at the rest of the weekend of things that have happened, and there have been so much going on in Dallas this weekend. WrestleMania draws in so much from everywhere, and it really has become kind of the linchpin for so much in the world of professional wrestling. You had Ring of Honor with their Supercard of Honor, the very first Tony Khan era Ring of Honor show, and I haven't watched it yet. I don't know when I'm going to be able to watch it. Probably not until during the week, but from what I've heard from a lot of people, including Luna Havoc, who did watch it, it was a good show. From everything I did read spoilers on Twitter, so I know everything that happened, but I still want to watch it. My only complaint is it really looks like the old school Ring of Honor talent got buried. You had a lot of AEW contracted talent go over. You had a Forbidden Door talent go over. That would be my only complaint about what happened Friday night at Supercard of Honor, is the fact that it really showed that Tony Khan is making this about AEW and AEW talent. And now maybe Ring of Honor talent, the other Ring of Honor talent will be brought back in at another time, but it sure didn't feel like that coming out of Friday night. Yeah, Juanito, you're right. You think that's what Tony Khan's plan is going forward. Again, he didn't have a lot of time to plan this. He had to go with certain matches that had already been announced. Yes, Lucas, you're right. Lest I forget that Samoa Joe returned to Ring of Honor, and he's all elite. He's going to show up at Dynamite. That is absolutely crazy. And I mean, there's so many things that could happen with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe could, can you imagine Samoa Joe and Keith Lee? I would love that. Samoa Joe and Lance Archer. What about Samoa Joe joining the Blackpool Combat Club? That trio right there, and you add in a younger Wheeler Yuta, would be dangerous. I would run for the hills from that group. Okay. Who knows what they have planned for Samoa Joe? We shall see. But it'll be interesting to see, not knowing what Tony Khan's plans are moving forward for Ring of Honor as far as TV or anything else. I haven't seen anything, and maybe I missed something. Maybe he doesn't want to announce it until after everything has died down from WrestleMania weekend, so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. We may hear something during Dark Elevation, or possibly on Dynamite on Wednesday night. I don't know. Hopefully we will see some sort of an announcement for him, because, you just had this big show. You got to keep it at the forefront of people's minds. Attention spans are very short, and people tend to forget things very quickly. So Tony Khan has got to jump on this quick. Impact had their multiverse of matches on Friday night. I didn't really hear much about that show. If anybody wants to jump in, if you watched that show, Yes, I know Tony Khan was watching yesterday. Any tweet, Lucas, I went and searched for tweets from him today, and anything he tweeted yesterday about WrestleMania was deleted, I think. I saw a couple of quotes from him, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. Yes, I know he was watching WrestleMania yesterday, and of course, if I was Tony Khan, I would be too. You know, he can afford $9.99 a month, right? You know, for Peacock, I'd be watching the competition to see what they're doing. I'd especially be watching my former EVP, what he's going to do. And you know, Tony Khan is going to be watching on Monday night. If they announce that Cody Rhodes is going to appear live on Raw on Monday night, and I wouldn't be surprised if WWE pulls the trigger on that, because they're going to be going head to head with the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. That is a rough go. Me personally, if I were WWE, I would have moved the date of WrestleMania weekend. I'd make it either a weekend earlier or a weekend later, so you get away from the NCAA Final Four. He said Cody wasn't even that good. Cody looked a little bit rusty out there, but there were a lot of, I don't want to say botches, but wrestling last night was very sloppy from everybody. Everybody last night. It may have been the conditions in the stadium. It may have been, you know, the nerves of being in front of the biggest crowd you've been in a long time. You know, biggest crowd in really 3 years, if you think about it, you know, because last year was a watered down crowd. It could be a lot of things, you know. I mean, everybody struggled last night. Everybody. I mean, there was stuff in the Bianca Becky match that looked rough. There were things in Ronda and Charlotte, Seth and Cody, Drew and Happy Corbin. I mean, there was stuff in every single match last night. And you know, it happens. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect in the ring. I'm not complaining at all about the in-ring talent last night. I'm just saying that, you know, when you watch carefully, there were a lot of slip-ups. That's what I'll say. Not botches, not mistakes. There was just a lot of slip-ups and a little bit of sloppiness last night. Okay. Again, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating a fact here. Yeah, Shadow Wolf, you're right. Sloppy, but decent. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong. I am not saying WrestleMania Night 1 was a bad show, because it wasn't. But there were certain things that just were not WrestleMania caliber. And they've really kind of set themselves up for that this year, because the big focus has been Roman and Brock, as it should be. But the build, and I've talked about this before, the build of a lot of things was really bad this year. It was really bad. All right, let's get off of WrestleMania for right now. NXT Stand and Deliver was yesterday. Oh boy, I don't know about that one. Stand and Deliver was good. The North American Championship ladder match was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was incredible. All 5 of those guys did an amazing job in the ring. Cameron Grimes getting that beautiful emotional moment yesterday was fantastic. Walter versus LA Knight was actually better than I thought it was going to be. And the reason I say that, I like both of them. I really like both of them. But I thought it was going to be just a massive squash match, that Walter was just going to go out there and destroy LA Knight. And he actually sold for some stuff from LA Knight, which was cool. I liked it. It was a very entertaining match. The tag team triple threat, that was another one that was sloppy as well. And I think part of the problem was you've got a veteran team like Imperium, a relatively veteran team in MSK, and still a very young green team in the Creed brothers, and they are very talented. The Creed brothers have a lot of talent, and I could see them being very quick for the main roster. I can, because there's going to be people on that main roster are going to look at them like, wow, I like these guys. They're very good. I'd say, give them time down in NXT though. Really let them work out the bugs. But that was an entertaining match. I did not expect to see MSK win that match. I thought it was either going to be the Creed brothers getting screwed by this mystery tag team and Imperium retaining, or the Creed brothers getting the victory. I was shocked. The women's championship 4-way was good. I mean, you have two great talents in there in Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray. Cora Jade, I'm very partial to her because I worked with her once here in the Midwest. I worked a show with her once here in the Midwest before she got the call to NXT. And I'm very excited to see what she's doing. At 21 years old, she has an incredibly bright future. She really does. I didn't think the time was right for her to win the championship. The fact that Mandy Rose retained, well, let's talk about that in the main event. Mandy Rose and Dolph Ziggler both retaining their championships. The question is, what does that mean for the top championships in NXT? I truly believe that Braun Breaker will be coming up to the main roster very soon. He may not make a surprise appearance on Monday or Friday this week. We may get the Braun Breaker coming soon, and it'll be like 3 weeks before he shows up. I think we're going to see the same thing with Io Shirai. Io Shirai will probably be getting called up as well, along with Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa definitely is getting the call up. Boy, that, if he's going to give the rub to anybody, why did it have to be Tony D'Angelo? I had tweeted this, and Tony D'Angelo is a guy that is really not that character. I'm going to say the character is not going to amount to anything in NXT, and certainly not on the main roster if he ever gets called up. I think they completely wasted an opportunity to give somebody a mega push coming off of Ciampa's last match. It did, NXT Stand and Deliver was a good show. I'd actually almost put them on par with WrestleMania Night 1, though. Yes, hold on. Eskerby, yes, Ciampa is coming up to the main roster. Let me jump back here. Kenny Omega to WWE, not anytime soon. AEW talent is going to be watching very, very carefully how WWE handles Cody Rhodes. And it's not going to be, I would have to say, don't watch the first 3 to 6 months. You've got to watch months 9 through 12, 12 through 18. Talk to me after WrestleMania next year. Talk to me going into SummerSlam of 2023 and how they've treated and booked Cody Rhodes. If they're pushing him to the moon, all right, maybe they're using him as a ploy to bring in other talent. I don't know. It's hard to say. I believe we probably will see other AEW talent coming over to WWE. We're going to see the back and forth. And that's what's beautiful about what's going on right now. Everybody talks about, AEW gets all the leftovers from WWE. Well, guess what? There actually is another major option now. You still have Impact. You've got Ring of Honor. You've got New Japan Strong here in North America. You've got MLW. There's a lot of options for men and women to go elsewhere, which is great. This is fantastic for the wrestlers, and it's fantastic for the fans. Who cares who goes where from where. It shouldn't matter. If your favorite wrestler goes to another company, great, follow them over there and hopefully they get treated well. It's not about, well, AEW is taking all the leftovers from WWE. Well, guess what? If WWE had released 80 talent over 2 years, we wouldn't be having so much of this conversation, okay? If they hadn't misused people in NXT, didn't see any chance for them, and AEW picked them up and turned somebody else's trash into treasure, who cares? As long as we're enjoying it as fans, that's the big thing. Am I streaming WrestleMania? I will not be doing a live stream during WrestleMania Night 2. I really want to be able to focus on the show. Though my friend Luna Havoc is going to be streaming tonight. She's going to be on Twitch, live streaming tonight. So make sure you check her out on Twitch tonight, Luna Havoc. She will be going live for all 4 hours of WrestleMania Night 2. So definitely go check her out. I will be watching and I'll be in on the comments, but I won't be live streaming. Not tonight. Yeah, Kenny Omega, who knows? Who knows? All right, let's talk about. Well, let's jump back a couple of days. Going into WrestleMania weekend, the big story was the debut, of another former WWE talent going to AEW, Toni Storm. Toni Storm debuted to take on the Bunny in a qualifying match for the Owen Hart Cup. And boy, I couldn't have been happier. I was excited to see her there because somebody that did so well in NXT UK, did relatively well in NXT, then get called up to the main roster and got treated like trash. They tried changing her gimmick. They did so many things with her and it just went nowhere. She finally got fed up and requested a release, which was great. And they granted it. And Toni Storm gets to be Toni Storm in AEW. Now, let's see how far this push for her goes. Is she going to get the Ruby Soho treatment where she was treated well? She got the 3-week push and has gotten buried. I think part of that, again, comes down to AEW needs somebody else other than Tony Khan, no offense, TK, booking the women's division. They got to put somebody in charge of the women's division, booking the women's division. Okay. Give them maybe not equal time. I mean, it really would be nice to see a 50-50 split, but that just doesn't make sense. But give them more time. You got 2 hours on Dynamite. Give them 45 minutes of 2 hours. That's a third of the broadcast. Give them, 2 solid matches and a backstage segment. Rampage, give them one solid match every week. There you go. Fixes the problem. A lot you can do there. But Toni Storm, she is now All Elite. Excited to see that. There's just so much to talk about. I really wish I had more notes here. I didn't write down notes. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants with this. But it was great to see that. We've talked about Supercard of Honor. Again, I can't talk about Impact Wrestling Multiverse of Matches because I didn't watch the show. Probably will not watch that one just because I just don't have enough time. I don't. And unfortunately, Impact is the one that's going to suffer from it. Unless somebody highly recommends and says, listen, you've got to go out of your way to watch this show. Okay. I am excited for Dynamite this week because the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, FTR, will be defending those belts and the AAA Tag Team Championships. Against the Young Bucks. That is pay-per-view level match right there, and it's going to be on a Dynamite on Wednesday night. I am so excited. Wait a second, I'm turning heel. What? What are you talking about? I am not turning heel. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so speaking of that, I want to discuss something that I tweeted on. I tweeted earlier today, and boy, I'll tell you, I am getting just an incredible reaction on both sides for this. So this is the let me hold on. Let me see if I can actually pull up the actual tweet. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you the actual tweet that I put out, and you can see it for yourself. And tell me your thoughts on this. And for those of you listening to the audio podcast, I'll tell you, hope you realize that Tony Khan is going to ramp things up over the next 7 weeks. Double or Nothing is going to be the biggest AEW show ever. He sees the challenge, will accept it, and will crush it. In a month, we will be back to the same WWE that so many have complained about. So let me go backwards here a little bit. All right. Let me go backwards a little bit and explain to you why I did that. Okay. There was a tweet earlier today, and let me make sure I got the right account here. I want to credit them correctly. Wrestling Banana. Just found out about them today. And let's see. Oh, did they take it down? They took the tweet down. No. You gotta be kidding me. They had a tweet with a quote from Tony Khan and they deleted it. Oh man, that totally sucks because I was going to reference that. I should have screenshotted it when I had the chance. And yep, it's gone because I wanted to quote exactly what was said, and now I can't. Oh man, that stinks. That really stinks. Let me see if they have any other reference to it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is the tweet from Wrestling Banana. You know, Tony Khan has something up his sleeve after that. Dynamite is going to be a banger. Double or Nothing is going to be a masterpiece. It's going to be his very own version of WrestleMania. Maybe Kenny Omega comes back at Double or Nothing. Heck, I love wrestling. So Tony Khan did have some comments out there, which I believe have just kind of vanished off the face of the earth. I don't know if he deleted them or what the heck ended up happening. But as Lucas stated in here, Tony Khan was watching WrestleMania. And again, I said this before. If I was running a rival company, I sure as heck would be watching it too to see what's going on. And your former EVP is over there as well. Yeah, he deleted, with the exception of talking about Fulham FC. He deleted everything that he tweeted yesterday. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. But like I said, Tony Khan was watching WWE's biggest show of the year, the first night. And he's taking a look at it. He wanted to see what Cody was going to do. He is a guy, he'll respond. He's the 2022 version of Eric Bischoff, okay? Eric Bischoff would always respond to WWE on Nitro. Always. Tony Khan is the same way. He's going to do the same thing. He sees what they did last night. And, they've, Seth Rollins, he took shots at, talking about being in the big leagues and everything else. And Tony Khan takes that as a challenge. He's a very competitive person. He sees it as a challenge and is going to run with it. Oh, wait a second. We may have gotten clarification on something here. Hang on. I see messages coming through. Unfortunately, Lucas, I can't. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to bring that up on my phone because I can't enlarge it on my screen. But let me see what you just sent. Hang on. I'm trying to get to it. Hate to do this during a live broadcast. I'm sorry. All right. Okay, I'm trying to open it. Here we go. Oh, interesting. Okay. Lucas, take a very close look at what you sent me and look at the name. Tony Khan did not tweet that. Okay, that's a thing, folks. Here's my social media advice for the day to you. Always be careful. Always be careful when you are looking at things online. Just because the name that pops up may be somebody's name, you look at the @. Okay. Tony Khan on Twitter, I believe, is a verified account. I believe he is verified. Let me double check. Yes, he's got a blue check mark next to his name. Lucas, the one that you sent me, I'm not going to give out that name, is that ain't Tony Khan. That is not Tony Khan. Okay. That is somebody trying, I could very easily, I could go to my Twitter @TV_wrestle and I could change the name that it pops up as. I could change it to Vince McMahon. I could change it to Cody Rhodes. I could change it to Kenny Omega. It would still be @TV_wrestle, but the name that is associated could be changed. So always be careful who you are attributing things to. Okay. Yes. That's some good news there. Okay. Might have some stuff to share with you guys this coming week. I'm excited. Okay. So where the heck were we? Oh yeah. The tweet that I sent out. I've had a lot of people blasting me, talking about, they can't break 1 million, they're not moving the needle, yada, yada, yada. WWE has been great the last 2 years. And okay, I am not anti-WWE. I am not 100% pro AEW. AEW makes mistakes still. Content-wise, I prefer what they're doing. But I watch Raw and SmackDown every week. Okay, I didn't watch SmackDown this week because I knew what it was going to be. And I had family things going on. That's why I didn't watch SmackDown. I didn't watch Rampage. I didn't watch the Hall of Fame. And I didn't watch Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. I'm playing catch up on everything from Friday night because I had some family stuff. And I watched the last 20 minutes of the Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor pre-show that was live on YouTube. That was it. But after that, I shut down wrestling for the night. I didn't get caught up until after 10 p.m. So, but I watch Raw and SmackDown every week. I watch Dynamite and Rampage every week. I watch them equally because, first of all, I did it as a wrestling fan. I was doing it as a wrestling fan before I started this channel back up again. But if I want to talk about both, I have to, I really have to watch the product. And quite honestly, if you compare AEW and WWE, personally, I think the way WWE has been doing a lot of things is wrong. But that being said, if you listen to anything I've said about WrestleMania and the build, I praised WWE for what they've done with Becky and Bianca. I've praised WWE for what they have done with Roman and Brock. I praised WWE for booking a match with Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn. I have not been 100% negative on them. Yes, the bad stuff stands out a little bit more. Okay. AEW, I have called them out on things, but the good stuff stands out more than the bad. And again, this is all my opinion. If you don't like it, fine. You don't have to agree with it. Okay. Let's have an amicable discussion about it. If you are pro WWE and can't stand what AEW does, fine. You have that choice. If you are all AEW and can't stand WWE, all right. If you hate both of the big guys and all you want is GCW and MLW and things like that, fine, no problem. If you're not a wrestling fan at all, I don't know why you're watching me, to be perfectly honest. All right. Yes, Shadow Wolf, you are right. Tony Khan is verified all over the web. Okay. Boy, what else is there to talk? I mean, there was so much that has happened. Yeah. Okay, so Malik, I thought Cody's return was fantastic last night. I was shocked that they are going full American Nightmare. They are, and WWE is playing this right, where they are going to play on everything that he did in New Japan, Ring of Honor, and AEW without saying those companies' names. But they're going to show that this is not the same Cody that was part of Legacy. This is not the same Cody that was Stardust or the Dashing One. This is a new Cody Rhodes. This is what he's been doing the last 6 years. They're not going to reference specific companies, but they're going to get people thinking about, all right, how, if you haven't watched any AEW, Ring of Honor, NWA, anything else, didn't know what had happened with Cody Rhodes after he left WWE, people are going to be asking the questions of what happened with him, and they're playing this up. And yes, it's going to mean people are going to be checking out, old AEW footage and old Ring of Honor and old NWA and New Japan, things like that. WWE is smart with this. They are playing this one especially if they give Cody a microphone on Monday night and let him talk from the heart. They're going to be playing this right, that WWE was able to bring over one of the guys that started the competition. They brought over one of the guys that started the fledgling company that has really made a name for itself, and he's back in WWE. I thought it was great. I really thought it was great. I would have done it just a little bit differently. I would have not had him be just a surprise last night, but it was really cool what they did. It was really cool. If you're talking about me and Luna, no, we are not live streaming together tonight. I may jump, if she wants me to, I may jump in on the Twitch for a little bit, but I will be watching tonight. Yeah, this one, I would not be surprised, especially if we're getting Braun Breaker, Tommaso Ciampa, Io Shirai, LA Knight, and a few others. Cody obviously coming back. There's going to be some releases. There are going to be some releases this week. If not this week, the following week. And it's a shame, but it's just the nature of the beast. It's just the way it is. WWE does it every year. I would not be surprised. Oh, yes, and how can we forget? Veer is coming back. Veer. Unless, are they going to bump Veer? Will they bump Veer? Wouldn't that be something? If because of Cody Rhodes, they have to bump Veer. Actually, I feel bad for him because no matter what Veer Mahaan does, it's going to be a letdown. It truly is going to be a letdown for the fans. And it's nothing that he's going to do wrong. Nothing at all. It's just they've pushed this so hard. And people have been watching WWE for, a year and a half, 2 years. They know who Veer is. He was with Shanky. It was those two. And, look what they've done with Shanky. He's jobbing out all the time. Why Veer is any different, I don't know. I really don't know. All right. There is so much more we could talk about, but I want to save some for during the week. I think I'm going to get going here because actually I do have some stuff to do, and I want to prepare myself for WrestleMania Night 2. For those of you that Veer, we're spending way too much time talking about Veer. Okay. For those of you that are wondering if you watch the prediction stream, here we are right now after one night. Callum and I are tied at 4 correct apiece, and the lovely Luna Havoc is behind with 3. And we all got Seth Rollins versus his mystery opponent wrong. We also all got the SmackDown Women's Championship wrong. So we will see who ends up coming out on top tonight. I believe there should be a definitive winner. Yeah, it is going to come down to the Pat McAfee Austin Theory match. That is going to decide who. Oh no, that and the women's. We could end up with a tie. We actually could end up with a tie here. So I don't know. We may have to come up with a tiebreaker. I may have to reach out to Callum and Luna and see if we can come up with a tiebreaker. I don't know what it would be. We'll see. Is there a belt on the line? No. Is there a trophy on the line? No. I may just print off a really cheap certificate and say you are you are the WrestleMania predictions champion for 2022. We shall see. Or you just get bragging rights. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. I don't know if I'm going to be on live tonight after WrestleMania Night 2. We will see. If there's anything super big that comes out of tonight, I may jump on for half an hour tonight and see. Yeah, Shadow Wolf, you're right. Ronda was robbed. But again, please go and check out Luna Havoc tonight, live on Twitch. She will be live during all of WrestleMania Night 2 tonight. Please go check out her stream. I'm going to be trying to jump in there when I can tonight. Also, don't forget to hit the link tree in my bio so you can check out all the social media. And I'm going to have a couple of announcements this week. Working on a few things. Yes, Roman is going to become double champion. That's what I predicted as well. I am going to be announcing a couple of things this week that I'm really excited about. Don't know exactly when I'm going to do it, but there will be some announcements this week. This is day number, 30, 31, 32, 30, 33 in a row of live streams for me. We're going to see how long we can get this to go. Are we going to break a Goldberg record? I don't know. I'm out of here, folks. Thank you very much. Enjoy WrestleMania Night 2. I am the Icon Jonny K. This has been WrestleScope Weekly for April 3rd. Have a good day.